Hello there, good people. Welcome to this new episode where I build an Instagram clone full stack web application. In this episode, I'm going to go on with the Crud Logic that I've started last time in the previous episode. If you haven't seen it, just go and check it out. And basically what Crud means is just create, read, update, and delete. And in the last episode, I have basically coded an endpoint to my API to create a user with the post method, and of course to also read it with the get method right here. In this episode, I'm going to build the route for deleting one and for updating it. Now I know that these episodes are quite far apart, and I apologize for that. But if you had any questions about the project itself, or if you had any doubts, just let me know in the comments below. I'd be super happy to help you out with your problems, with your difficulties. So I want to start with the delete method because it's a little bit simpler. And so I take my router and I set delete. This corresponds to an HTTP method, the delete method, and it's usually used to delete stuff. Then I provide an endpoint, and I'm going to use a dynamic endpoint. So this username would be different every time, and will match the actual username. And for the function, I'm going to have an async function that takes the request, the response, and the next on the line. Fat arrow, and we're here. Now, with asynchronous function, I always like to provide a try catch block because something might be, rejected. And for the error, I'm just going to console error, the error. And for now, I'm just gonna return a status of 500, and I'm just gonna end the conversation. And in terms of HTTP, it's a cycle of request and response. So I need to send a response. And basically what this does is just, it ends it right there and then. Okay. Now in here, I can have the deleted user to be the user.delete1. Now in this delete one, basically what it takes is an object for the condition. So basically here I'm saying delete the user where, I'm going to use the username of course, where the username is equal to the username that is provided right here. And how can I access to this parameter? Well, it's part of the request, it's part of the parameters, and it's called username. So just like this, I have access to this one, okay? Now, if you remember last time, when we save the user, we actually save it in lowercase, okay? So now, if I want to fetch anything from the database, every user, any username, I need to put it lowercase because I'm not gonna be able to find it. If somebody uses camel case or uppercase, and I need to be consistent. So I'm just going to turn all this into basically lowercase, super easy. Now, this is a method by Mongoose, and it's an abstraction to talk with a MongoDB database. And what basically this does, it returns an object with the number of deleted records and a few other options. And one option is the .ok. So what I can say is if deleted.ok, so if everything went well, but then rest status, I'm going to say 200, and I can just end it here, just like this. And I can even return, so that the function stops. Otherwise, if it's not okay, well, I'm going to return a res.status of, what can I say, 500 maybe, and I'm gonna end it right here, there and then. Why not? Could I put something, you know what? I'm gonna create an error. I'm gonna throw an error. And in this error, I'm gonna say something went, oh my God, okay. Something went wrong during deletion. Deletion. Okay. Now, this error will be caught by this catch handler. So basically, I'm not repeating code. Now, let's save this file. Prettier, just makes a good looking formatting right here. Okay, now that I think about it, this try catch block is very convenient right here, because if you notice, I have a lot of await statements right here, and there is no way to catch an error if something were to happen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna provide one here, and I'm gonna move everything of this, because yeah, right inside here. And outside, which is this, man, color in brackets really are a blessing. Again, I'm gonna console error the error, and I can forward the error. This would be caught by the error handler, and I'm going to write a error handler in the next episodes. But basically, this is calling the next operation on the chain. And since it's carrying an error, and if you notice in my functions, I'm never catching the error, because this I have the request, the response, and then the next operation. The error handler will have the error catcher, let's call it like this. It will catch the error and then it will display it. So this is done. Try, if I save it, it should be, yeah, formatted nicely. Good. Now what's left is the update. Now, the update in terms of HTTP is done through the put method. And here I need the endpoint, and it's going to be basically the same. I need the username because I have to fetch the user in the database. I'm going to have an asynchronous function, takes the request, the response, and the next as well. File error, and we're good to go. Okay. Now, why do I need an asynchronous function? Because I want to use the await keyword. And actually here I should have the await here. And if I want to use the await syntax, I need to be in an asynchronous function. So I need to indicate it like this. Now, what do I need to do? Well, basically the update request is very similar to a post request creation, because I am creating is as if I am creating a new user. So what I want to do is basically to copy all of this, almost all of this. Let's say that I copied everything. Yeah, where does it start and where does it end? Yeah, it ends it here. Just Command C, Command V. Nice. Now the logic for updating is a little bit different. For instance, here I'm using the create user validation. Now, if I want to see, let's save this, in my user validator, the username and the password are required. Of course, when I'm updating a user, you don't really need to, they're not really required, because you can change the username or not. You can change the password or not. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this as well. And instead of create user validation, I'm going to say update user validation. And the only thing I'm going to change is this required right here, so that the validator doesn't, gets angry when the username and the password are not provided. I save it, and I need to remember to export it, or I'm not going to be able to see it in my file. Now that I have exported it, I need to import it right here, right at the top. Bit of the structuring, and we're good to go. Nice. So right here, I need this, the updated user validation. This is going to validate the body. If there is an error, it's going to return a 400, which is a bad request, and it's just going to return the error, whatever the error means. You can even parse this error. This comes from the validator itself. And to validate things, I'm using Joy, J-O-I, which is an NPM package. And the error is basically a Joy object. You can parse it, you can just show whatever you want. But for simplicity, I'm just gonna forward it like this. Then what I want to do is, of course, get the value. The value is what it's returned from here, if it's valid, and transform it to lowercase. But in this case, I have no idea if it's in there because it's not required anymore. So the only thing I need to change, value username, question mark, okay? So basically, or undefined, nice. So basically what I'm saying, if there is a username in the body, well then put it lowercase, otherwise it's undefined. And in here, I need to do basically the same, because if there is a username, then I await for getting the user back. Oh no, I need, yeah, this. I'm awaiting to get the user back, otherwise it's false. And here I'm following the same logic as in the create method, because if you want to change the username, it still needs to be unique. If you want to change your email, it still needs to be unique, but this time is not required. So these pieces are just conditional, so just ternary operators. So if there is a username in the body, well then fetch the user to see if it exists. The same for the email. So now this is basically handling the case the user or the email already exists. And now I'm here. Now here I'm hashing the password, but actually the password might not be in the body. So I need to change this logic to just be another conditional. So if value.password, so basically is if there is a password in the body, well then I want to hash it. So I want to do this exact thing. Command X, command V. So right now I'm doing this just when I have the password. Otherwise, I don't do anything else. I save it, nicely formatted. Okay, one last thing that I need to do. I need to feed the object to the Mongoose API. So I'm gonna use, let's put it like this: user equal user.update1, and again, this is an abstraction. Under the hood, Mongoose uses the update method. If you want to use this, you can. So the update1 takes two objects. One is for the condition. So what do I have to look for? What object do you want to update? And this is going to be the username. And again, I'm gonna go into the parameters, check the username, and to lowercase. This is a must since I am storing all the users as lowercase. So this is basically fetching the user. Now I had to give it the object to update. So the update information, and it's going to be the value. However, this value will not have everything. For instance, the password has been hashed, but I'm not feeding the hash password to this value object. So one last thing that I need to do here is say that value.password is now equal to hashed. So the hashed version that I have right here. Now this value will have everything that I pass in, basically. Almost everything that I pass in. Okay, this is some nice formatting. I'm getting the user. I can get rid of this because I'm not creating it anymore. And I can return a status of 200. So the update1 method just returns the number of records updated. So if I return the user, it's just going to be like how many have I updated. So what I want to do now, if I'm returning it, you'll see what I mean here. What I want to do now is test it simply. And how do I do that? Let's just give it a look once again. So if there is an error, I'm using the validator, that's good. If there is a username, I put it in lowercase, otherwise it's undefined. If there is a username, I check if it exists. Email, same story. I compose the error message if one of the two is already present in the database. If everything passes, I'm right here. So the body has been validated. And if there is a password in the body, I make sure to hash it. Okay. And then I turn that password in the body to its hashed version. Hashing basically means just making it encrypting it so that it's not plain text. Once I've done that, I basically, I update one, I fetch it, username with the username that I have in the parameters of the route, and then I replace it with whatever I have in the body. So there's going to be a username or a password or an email, whatever. And then I return a status of 200 and this object as well. Let's call it updated. Maybe user is a bit confusing. If there is an error, there's going to be a next error. Let's save it and let's start the server. So I am in my src folder. I'm just gonna run dev if everything is okay. Okay, it's listening on port 3000 and database is connected. So let's test it. And to test it, I'm going to use Postman. Now this returns, this endpoint is the one I've done last time, and it basically returns all the users. These are the users that I've created last time. And as you can see, this is the hashed version of a password. And look, it's looking pretty good, honestly. Okay, so let's say that I want to update this new user. So let's say that I make a pull request and I need to specify a username. So I'm going to specify new user. Now I have to send a body, of course, and it's going to be a JSON body. Now here, the email is new@email.com. Let's say that I want to update the email. So I said email, and I say new email. Where is it? Yeah, email.com. So after this, everything should be fine. Of course, this is going to be turned to lowercase, so it's not going to take my camel case, but that's fine. New email. If I send it, okay, modified count, this is the object that Mongoose is returning. So it said that it has matched one object, it has modified one, acknowledged, I have no idea what it means, but it should have worked. I don't have any error. So if I do a if I make a get request on the user again, I can even make a get request for this. I should have a new email now. And as a matter of fact, I do. So basically, I've just updated a user. Let's try with the password. Now, we cannot really understand this, but let's take the last digits. So VE5I. Just to see if it's hashing it again. This time, I'm going to change the password. Okay. And this new password will be my new password, just like this. Now if I do this, okay, modified one, and if I get the user, this user, it should be different. It's an hashed version, and that's good, but it's also different from, where is this? I have no idea. Okay, but it's different from what I had before. If you remember, it was VE5I or something like this. So basically the hashing of the password works, change the email works. Now we need to test the delete. And to delete, we just go to delete method right here. We specify the username, and we should get back, we shouldn't get back anything. We just, because I'm ending the statement. Let's see if it works. So I'm deleting the new user. Let's see if it works. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, cancel. Let's see what the console is saying. Something went wrong during deletion. Am I returning something? Let's see the delete. It's right here. I'm not returning. Okay, delete API. Okay, so it's saying that there is no property called okay. Well, all right then. You know what? I'm just gonna do it like this. I don't need this, I don't need this, and I don't need this. If everything goes well, I'm just gonna return it, plain and simple. So I don't need to do this because it's just redundant. Let's try now. Wait, it probably deleted it though. If I try and get it, let's get all the users. Because this happened before the error. I mean, yeah, before the error. So if I now check, I don't have a new user because it deleted it. Basically, it did the deletion, but then it caused the error. So basically, it's not in the database anymore. But of course, I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to choose the new user too. So let's delete new user 2. New user 2. Now this should work. Let's see what I get. Still doesn't work. Well, that's nice. The fact is that it's working because it's deleting it. Of course, it doesn't exist. You see, it's deleting it, but it's not returning anything. Oh, wait. Is it because I'm ending the conversation? Okay. So let's send a JSON. Let's do it like this. Let's say a message with deleted. Yoo-hoo, like this. And let's see if this works. So now I have new user 3. I'm going to delete this one. No, new user 3. Let's see if it now works. It should. Okay, yeah, fine. So if you probably end the conversation, Postman doesn't really like it. So now I'm returning a JSON object. There is no problem here. And this is absolutely fine. So basically I have deleted it. And now if I get all the users, well, I should have just one. Yeah, I basically deleted everything. But yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So as you can see, I have created a route to delete a user. Okay. And I created a route to update it. So now my Crud logic is basically done for the user model. Now, if you want to notice the user model right here, and I'm just gonna focus your attention on these two, the followed and followers, and you say, you haven't provided a route to update those two. That's correct. However, this will be done separately, and I can use it, and I can just do it right here in the routes. So instead of using this particular route, I can provide something like this, router.post, because I am, let's say, creating a new thing, or I can even just do a put, so that I know that the user it has to exist. Then I'm gonna just say the username, and then I can go to /follower. Okay. So basically like this, I can say there is a route where I put the username and follower that adds follower or removes it. Okay, depending on the logic that I deploy inside. And just like this, I can even take another route and just say unfollow, like this. This is going to be done in the next episode, so make sure to check it out. But for now, I am quite satisfied with what I can do. Basically, right now I have the entire logic for managing my users. And this is fundamental when I want to sign up a user. Basically, it's this logic right here. I'm registering a user. And also it's fundamental for when I want to log them in, because I need to fetch them. I need to get their password and then compare them and finally, log them in. So all of this is a fundamental piece of this project. Make sure to check the next step where I create, of course, the follow and follow logic, but also I will create the endpoints for getting the images, for creating a post like Instagram, and then for the comments. And that is going to be very, very funny. And that is going to be so much fun because right now the project is looking extremely, extremely good. And when the final product would be, right there, you will have basically an entire full stack web application that is just, identical to Instagram. And you can choose to either deploy it. I'm not going to do that, but you can, and whatnot. For now, it is all. If you like this video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to enjoy even more content like this one. I'll see you at the next one. Bye bye.